Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. So in today's video I'm going to show you how we can compose, how we can draw and how we can paint these beautiful freesia flower. So let's begin with today's video. I'm using this drawing sheet and a pencil to create a basic guideline. So you can create something like this. So this is the structure of a flower wherein all the flowers and flower buds are attached. So you can create something like this, not necessary to copy mine. And then you can start creating small flower birds. So we can start from the smaller flower bird, and as we are moving towards inside this structure, we are creating little bigger. So this should be smaller in the tip and bigger as we are moving towards inside the structure. And you can also keep the direction of birds a little bit different, like tilted towards downward direction or upward direction. And for the flower bird, we are doing nothing, just creating a small base of flower, a Y kind of shape. We usually see green in color, and then a oval kind of shape having a little bit of line and pattern into it to create flower bird. Now this flower has multiple flower birds around the tip of this particular structure and couple of flowers which are fully bloomed. Now I'm going to create 3 flowers which are fully bloomed but having different perspectives. So let's start with the first one. So you need to create first 3 petals, and the petals should be pointed, but as you can see I'm not creating pointed petal for the lower 2 petals because it has folds into it. So you can create folded pattern like this into the petal. So because of folded pattern you can get a nice perspective of flower. Now you can create 3 petals in between these front petals. So basically we have 3 front petals, 3 behind petal, and petals are having folded pattern into it, and in between we can create multiple stamen. Now let's create one more flower having similar kind of perspective but very different from each other. So in this one I'm creating 2 petals like this and one smaller having folded towards inside. So these are the front petals. If you have seen the gladiolus flower drawing, you will understand we have done similar kind of stuff for gladiolus as well. The only difference is the composition of these flowers is totally different as compared to gladiolus, but somewhat similar to each other. Now we are done with 2 perspectives. Now let's create one more. This one is the side perspective. So basically we are not seeing the front of the flower, we are not able to see the center part of the flower, we are not able to see the stamen, but we are only seeing the petals. So I have created one round petal like this, and then side petals having little bit of folded pattern into it. So I have created something like this having little bit of folded pattern, and couple of petals we are seeing from the side which are in opposite direction, and something like this I have created. Now you can refer to the reference photo as well to create all these flowers. I'm not using any reference photo, so I'm creating my own composition, and I am adding couple of more birds in between wherein I can see little space and I can adjust couple of flower birds. Now if you have ever seen these freesia flower, you definitely have seen couple of groups are only having flower birds, no open flower into it. So let's create one more structure here. So the direction of this particular structure is opposite what we have done in the first composition, and in this one I'm only creating the flower birds. You can keep the direction of flower birds as per your need. Now you can create leaves little longer, nothing fancy in it, and then you can trace everything with the help of pen. Obviously you can use any kind of pen, or you can do these things with the help of pencil itself. I'm using size 08 nittle pen, and I'm doing everything with the help of this particular pen, but you can use different sizes of pen to do different kind of stuff, and you can also use normal ball pen. So let's trace everything quickly, and then we are going to little bit of shading and detailing into it using different sketching process like hatching, contouring, cross contouring, and then at the end I'm also going to paint it using watercolor. This process is called line and wash technique. I have covered many flowers in the past like larkspur flower, gladiolus flower, and many more. So if you want, you can get a playlist link into my description section and you can see all the flowers which I have covered so far. And this particular technique is very simple, wherein we draw everything, and if you want to beautify your drawing, you can do some sketching process into it, and then at the end you can use watercolor to paint it. And this one is the easiest one to do. Even if you are a beginner, you can do it easily. If you are only interested in drawing but little bit of coloring is something important for you, then this technique is something for you. Now we are done with the tracing part. You can rub all the unwanted pencil mark, and then we are going to do a little bit of extra shading and detailing. So for that I'm using size 02 mm needle pen, and for the stem area I'm doing some cross hatching process. So cross hatching means creating parallel line like these and then cross line. So you can do this cross hatching in any direction, so you can create lines in any direction and then you can do some cross line in any direction, basically to get little darker shade and to get little extra texture around the stem and leaf. So I'm doing this hatching process around the leaf area, around the stem and the base of the flower, which we usually see in green color. And then for the petal area, I am creating multiple lines like this with very soft hand. I don't want to make it too dark. I'm creating these lines in a random manner, or you can say I'm going with the petal structure, not straight line but little curvy, to create little extra texture into our flower. Now for the flowers, I'm doing little bit of line and pattern from outside to inside for the couple of petals and inside to outside for couple of petals. I have also added folded pattern, so I want to highlight that particular area, so I want to keep that area a little darker, so I'm doing some cross hatching around the folded pattern that I have created. Now you can repeat the same thing for second flower as well, which I'm not going to show you because now you have understood what needs to be done, so you can do it easily. Now you can do the same thing for flower birds as well. So I'm adding more lines and pattern into flower birds. And if you are interested in painting, you don't have to do it too much. You can do a little bit of shading and detailing. So I'm done with the sketching part. Now with the help of green color, I'm going to paint the stem area and leaf area and the flower birds as well. So I'm using sap green color and I'm going through the stem area and the base of the flower birds. I don't want to paint everything, so I'm keeping couple of area as is, not touching those area. So let's paint the leaf and stems first. And for the flower birds, I'm using lighter shade of green, so I have mixed little bit of yellow and green together, and I'm going through all the flower birds. In this particular technique, you already have defined everything with the help of pen, right? So you can paint it randomly as well, like putting color into the structure. That's it. You don't have to think too much about watercolor technique and tips. So I'm repeating the same thing for a couple of more flower birds. And then you can also add little hint of darker shade as well into the flower bird. Now for the flowers, I'm using red color. Freesia flower comes in many different colors as well. You can choose whatever color you like. I want to use red color for this particular flower, so I'm going around the tip of each petal, making it little darker, and then with the help of clean water and clean brush I am blending the color throughout the flower. So as you can see, I'm getting little darker shade at one side of the petal and lighter at another. So I want to keep it like this. You can add more color around the tip of the flower to make it more darker. So these things is totally up to you. If you are doing this in the watercolor sheet, you can definitely try different techniques of watercolor to paint these flowers. I'm using normal drawing sheet, so I don't want to do too much. So I'm just putting some color into my flower area and birds area. And I also wanted to show you a little bit of drawing touch as well. So I'm not doing this coloring throughout the structure. I'm keeping some of the area as is. Now I am adding red color into the second flower as well. You can obviously use 2 different shades of red color to get some extra depth into your painting, but I don't want to do it because I wanted to make it for beginners as well. So if you are a beginner, I think you should definitely try this technique to draw and then paint it using watercolor. So I think this is making sense to you and you are learning something new from me. And we are almost done with the today's video. I'm hoping this video is helpful for you guys. Please do let me know if you have any kind of feedback for me, and thank you so much for watching my videos and commenting on my videos, giving some nice feedback to me. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.